Minority Whip Steve Scalise and House Foreign Affairs Committee Ranking Member Lee Zeldin. Congressman Scalise, how long can the Democrats run these sham inquiries without a vote?
Laura, you're already seeing it catch up with them. I mean, look, for the last 2 weeks, members have been back in their districts. A lot of these vulnerable members, you know, the people that made up Pelosi's majority, 31 Democrats that are in districts that Donald Trump won, are going back home and they're hearing from constituents going, you're seriously trying to impeach the president when you can't even name an impeachable offense. That's how ridiculous this is. And so they're going to be coming back asking Pelosi these questions, going, you and Adam Schiff are literally trying to take away the will of the voters that they're going to have the opportunity in 2020 to pick the next president. And Pelosi and Schiff are trying to take that away from them, running this kangaroo court where you can't even question your accusers. You can't even have basic similar rights, due process that every impeachment has had. Every impeachment, only 3, by the way, in the history of our country, all of them have started with a vote in the House. Pelosi's already bypassed that because she's trying to shield and hide this vote from her members, and then trying to deny due process.
Congressman Zeldin, Congressman Zeldin, your colleague, Congressman Jim Jordan, called out Adam Schiff for keeping former Ukraine envoy Kurt Volker's testimony under lock and key.
Adam Schiff released the transcript so they can see what Ambassador Volker spent 9 hours telling us, where he said there was no quid pro quo, there was no linkage whatsoever between security assistance dollars for Ukraine and any type of investigation into anyone in Ukraine or any investigation into the Bidens. Adam Schiff won't release that. Instead, there were 67 pages of text messages. Adam Schiff took a few of those text messages and released them. Release them all.
Now, do you have confidence, Congressman Zeldin, that you're going to ever see the full transcripts from these secret hearings?
Gosh, I sure hope so. I hope the American public will be able to see it. I was in the room for that transcribed interview. It was a marathon session. The American public would learn a lot of facts that Adam Schiff isn't telling us. So not just process-wise, but substantively, when Adam Schiff chooses to cherry-pick texts, to not disclose key facts, he is depriving the American public from getting the ability to form their own independent judgment on important things. For example, Adam Schiff says that Donald Trump demanded that President Zelensky manufacture dirt on the Bidens. Ambassador Volker absolutely emphatically said that that is not true, passionately said that wasn't true. And he testified exceptionally and professionally. When Adam Schiff is talking about a quid pro quo fairy tale charge of the United States linking aid to Ukraine to an investigation into the Bidens, Ambassador Volker destroyed that narrative on several fronts, whether it was on the call, which we also saw in the transcript, there was no reference to a hold on aid. In the readouts after that call, both the Ukraine side and the U.S. side, there is no reference to quid pro quo or a hold on aid. Ambassador Volker met with President Zelensky the next day. There's no reference to a hold on aid or a quid pro quo. In the weeks to follow that, the Ukraine government makes no reference to Ambassador Volker about a hold-on aid or a quid pro quo until after a Politico story a long time later. Ambassador Volker testified that the hold was going to get released. The aid was going to Ukraine, and guess what? It got released. All of this stuff would be known to you, would be known to your viewers, if Adam Schiff, instead of cherry-picking facts, instead just put it all out there. And that's why we have to be there at these transcribed interviews, because if we boycotted them, I wouldn't even be able to share with you what really is, what amounts to the other 99% of the story.
Well, now they're basically saying, if I'm hearing them correct, Congressman, that you don't even need a quid pro quo. So the goalposts keep shifting here. They lied about what was in the transcript. Adam Schiff made that up. Nancy Pelosi kind of repeated it later. So that was all made up. And now it's obvious there was no quid pro quo. The president didn't link aid ever in any conversation that the president did not link aid. Yeah. Okay, it didn't happen. So now they're saying
this is about a new.
Yeah, he's meddling in the next election, or he's trying to meddle in the election. He's trying to interfere with the 2020 election. That's where they're going with this. They're using a foreign power to interfere with the next election. So that's how they're moving here. But it doesn't matter because they don't have to put on a case. They don't really have to put on any type of investigation or vote because they're just not going to do that because they know where it's going to lead. And it's getting this bad, Congressman Scalise, that Joe Biden and Susan Rice are talking about, well, you can't put stuff on a classified server. You can't put call transcripts on a classified server. Watch.
They tried to cover it up by hiding the evidence, classifying it like no other president attempted to classify these conversations.
How often did you guys move over conversations onto that kind of a server? We moved them over unless they were legitimately in their contents classified.
Congressman Scalise, do you find that rich, given what happened during the Obama years of private servers, stuff we never saw?
I mean, bleached servers, Laura. We can't even find some of the stuff that they did. You know, and Joe Biden's over there talking about integrity, and then you look, you know, he won't even answer questions about what was going on with his son getting not only Ukraine contracts, but China contracts. This whole thing stinks, Laura. The fact that they won't, as Lee Zeldin's been doing a great job with Jim Jordan at getting the facts out there and saying, release the Volcker transcripts. Don't do this cherry-picking stuff where you drip stuff to the media. You wonder why some of these transcripts. By the way, when a president's talking to a foreign leader, the idea that partisans, people who, as we know as reports right now, that the so-called whistleblower had an actual partisan leaning and a tie to a Democrat candidate for president of the United States. And you wonder why they moved this stuff to a classified server.
No, you can't make it up.
The president's trying, by the way, and if you look at the transcript, which I've done, they've done too, the president's trying to root out corruption related to the 2016 election, which Obama was the president when the Russians tried to interfere, and Trump's trying to root it out so it doesn't happen again. Pelosi's the one trying to make this about 2020.
All right, hold on.
She's trying to try to impeach this president with no justified reason.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I got to get Congressman Zeldin on this. Do you think Adam Schiff will be censured, Congressman Zeldin? Yes or no?
No, I think the Democrats are actually going to cover for them. I mean, we're seeing the entire House Democratic Conference eagerly ripping the country in half right now. They're hijacking the priorities of my constituents and the American public to appease a far-left radical base. This is about a pledge to resist, oppose, impeach, and obstruct everything and anything. They will cover for Adam Schiff's lies. Time and again, they actually made the man the point guy for this entire clown show. So, no, I don't think there'll be a censure because all of the House Democrats, where they're in the majority, they're going to cover for it.
All right, guys, thank you so much, Congressman. We really appreciate it.